So this is just a quick reaction video from Chicago Bulls Chat, C-Red UK podcast, just on the trade deadline coming to an end, and AK and Billy Donovan presses. It's just short and sweet. I just needed to get this off my chest. First and foremost, nothing really happened other than the Zach LaVine trade and the Lonzo Ball re-signing. They stood pat. Now, the problem is, I was actually okay with the Zach LaVine signing or trade, should I say, and the signing of Lonzo Ball. In a vacuum, they were good moves, but they needed to be followed up with more. The whole reason why I was okay with it was because it laid down a foundation for what was to come. But no, that's not what happened. Vooch stayed, Lonzo got re signed. We kept the three players that we got as part of the Zach LaVine deal that they were talking about flipping. They didn't flip them, they've kept them, which, in my opinion, is okay. But the way that they were treated in the time leading up to that, where they were kind of segregated from the team, they weren't really involved in anything. And what now? You're going to try and make them feel welcome? That's by the by, but that is not really acceptable. I wouldn't be very happy if I was one of the three players, Kevin Herter, Zach Collins, and Trey Jones, that have been taken on as part of that deal. The next thing is you're now entering a rebuild. Billy Donovan even said it in his presser, whether or not he was allowed to. It's kind of what he alluded to. And now you're in a rebuild situation with virtually no picks. In a rebuild, you need to give yourself the opportunity to build on what you have. How are you going to do that when you get a bunch of role players? You've got nobody else that is a franchise type player. Vooch is kind of getting to the point where he's of an age where he should have been moved at this point where he's been having the season that he's having. Golden State came knocking. They didn't answer or they didn't reach an agreement. Is this because AK is too bullheaded? Possibly, pardon the pun, but he is. He's obviously not able to get deals done. And when he does get deals done and when he does pull the trigger, he either pulls them too soon or too late. He can't seem to get it right in the middle. He's delusional. Talking about 30 days or 30 games left in the season to see if it gets us closer to the playoffs or the play-ins and that this group can potentially do that. But then also talking about developing what we have. Okay, pick a lane, right? Pick a lane. You haven't done that. It looked like you were going to do that, but you didn't do that. Where are you coming from? You have obviously lost control of what you're doing. You've obviously no plan for the future. You have no clue what you're doing. We had enough dealing with Garpax. We had years of dealing with Garpax to then have to deal with more crap and idiocy
and incompetence, basically. I put out a tweet when I had managed to get my head around everything from the CW Arrow show from a few years back, saying you have failed this city. And to be honest with you, you've failed this entire franchise. But I guess this is what we're left with, right? So Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and Kevin Herter come in. I am interested to see how they get on, how they play. We'll get a first look at them against Golden State Warriors and Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry working together. So we'll see how that all works out. Who knows? Maybe they'll be good role players for us going forwards. I'm also hoping that maybe with the re-signing of Zoe on what is actually a very team-friendly deal, it's a team option in the second year, 20 million over the course of 2 years. It's a good deal. It's a good bargain. Maybe Zoe felt he owed the Bulls. Maybe they had a conversation of, look, come back, play us for a full year next season. We'll look at moving you then to a contender. Maybe that's what happens. What I'm hoping for is in his time that he'll become a mentor as a vet leader to these kids, particularly to the likes of Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey has a great foundation to be a really good player. He is flawed. He has things he does well. He has things he does not so well. And I'm hoping he'll learn from Zoe in particular, and he'll become that point guard for us going forward. Who knows, maybe Trey Jones sliding in at the reserve role, and that puts us perhaps in a position to move Kobe on in the off-season and hopefully get a return that we can use to build going forward, because it isn't a rebuild if you've got nothing to build with. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow everything we do here at C-Red UK so that you don't miss a trick, and keep an eye on all the socials. You can find us at C-Red UK. Until next time, wherever you are in the world, C-Red people.